Okay. Got my new fucking driver's license, man. And here's the thing. Last time I suppose it was the only time that I really lost it, but it was because I let it go. I did all my classes. See, that was the one I was on my motorcycle, not flying. You know, I can go years without getting arrested. But it comes around every once in a while just to keep me in check. Says, back off. And, probably the best part of that is that I am able to learn from it for a while. And I start getting too cocky. So yeah, you go flying over something, wake up in jail, end up getting beaten up in jail another time. Well, not by the inmates, by 4 corrections officers. Never once lifted a hand. As soon as I saw them coming at me, I looked and I said, and I opened my hands like that and held them down at my side. I was saying, I'm not fighting you. And as it turns out, it might have looked like it was saying, come on! I don't know. They acted like I was saying, come on, because they grabbed me and beat the fuck out of me. And they pounded my head by the hair off the fucking floor, kicking me and I can take it. It's better than the alternative. The alternative could have been time in prison. This is just a one-night stay. And there are other times you wake up. The first time I was ever in jail, I woke up on a concrete floor, and it was like the most comfortable sleep I'd ever had. And whereas I was alone in the beginning, I woke up and there were people everywhere. Just look at that. So comfortable. Another time, wake up lying over the toilet where there was a wall in just the drunk tank, you know. So people can crap behind there. If they're not being held in solitary like I was after they beat the shit out of me that one time. They gave me my own toilet and everything. And wake up sleeping on your back up on top of that 8x16, you know, block wall, retainer wall, whatever the hell, privacy wall. You just wake up lying like that. But you go years without driving. The funny thing is, before I had ever gotten in trouble for driving, I rode my bicycle all the time. And the one time at the end of Clover Lane, I was going by, I stopped to look, and there was a guy in his yard doing some yard work or some shit. I was standing there, it was 20 years ago. And he looked at me right away and said, lost your license too, huh? And I was like, no. What the fuck? I'm riding a bike. Don't need to drive to town. I can be there in 5 minutes. On foot. Why would I drive to fucking town? But the immediate presumption is that you lost your license. And then when you eventually do, and your boss at the time says, you're a man now, because he's had 3. Oh, fuck, man. It's embarrassing. Just, I mean, I have something to make me feel better about it. But the idea was embarrassing. They fucking got me. They do. But I did everything I was supposed to do. And at the end of doing everything I was supposed to do, just like with university, I took all my classes. Some of them twice. If I don't know it, then they can't tell me they're teaching anything at all. I did it. I said, you know what? You don't want me to have my license? And I was in a massive transit place at the time, so it was easy enough to do. I said, I'm not going to pay your gas tax. I'm not going to pay any of this shit. I'm not going to pay for gasoline. Screw it. And I just had a student card, and I would travel on light rail and go everywhere I needed to go by bus. So eventually, over time, I was 8 years without a driver's license, and it didn't affect me at all, because eventually I became the guy that lost his license that was riding a bike. But 30 miles the whole way, just, you don't sit down, you pull at the handlebars and push at the pedals and just go until the chain comes off. Or walk in the winter. 40 below, if you got a good hat and a pair of gloves, you'll be all right. Keep your core heated. 8 years without it. Till I ended up in a place where the buses couldn't get me to where I needed to be anymore. Without a 12-mile walk every day, which I had taken a shot at once, till somebody picked me up, pissed me off. I was almost there. Eventually I had to say, screw it. Pulled out all my old paperwork and got my license. And the weirdest thing is, at that point, is that it may not be the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing I was aware of. It's not so weird to think of. That's the point, what I'm saying. It's not so weird to think of. But the weirdest thing at that time was driving. And every time seeing a cop thinking he's gonna get you. But the thing is, that hasn't fallen away. We all feel that. You just forget that feeling when you're not driving. And the car is the symbol of freedom in the United States of America. To be able to cross state lines for whatever reason. There are more reasons now than there used to be. But to be able to just cruise. The driver's license, man. And look, as I said, I was locked up in the place and everybody was losing their minds because it was after hours. Nobody could go out and smoke and nobody could do anything. They were losing their minds. And the little group of people I was sitting next to, we were just laughing and having a great time. And it was like an hour and a half past the time it closed. They shifted the way they did people, which put me further behind. But we were laughing because people were losing their fucking minds. You keep one little man in the Secretary of State's office, the DMV, for longer than he wants to be, one itty bitty minute, and he just loses his mind. And that's the picture I get to keep for another hour or 4 or 5 years. I didn't really read the thing. I didn't check to make sure. Like the one time I mistakenly corrected their paperwork when they handed it back, said, "Is this correct?" I looked and I said, "You got my eyes written as black." But I regretted having brought that up, because if a cop is gonna see me, I'm probably gonna have black eyes. Not only that, but the Uline magazine came in the mail today. I'm free to drive, and you might see me.